What's up, Carp Crew? Gary Dose here again. Just the older Gary. Younger Gary's taking his nap right now. I wanted to jump on and start a new series about the Pokemon Trading Card Company game that many of you guys already are playing, and maybe you are just collecting and you're thinking about playing, but you're not really sure where to start. So what I thought I would do is put some cards on the table and just kind of walk through like the anatomy of a Pokemon card. And we'll use that as kind of like the first video of this how-to, and then we'll see if you guys enjoy it. Then we'll make a series out of it, and we'll kind of step-by-step walk through the game over the next few weeks, and who knows, maybe make some more players out of us. And it'll teach me some more things too as far as strategy, and as I work through how to explain this, we can go from there. What I would say is to start with downloading the Pokemon Trading Card Company digital game. If you have PC or tablet, you can download it. Why that's super beneficial is it walks you through the steps that I'm about to show you with real cards, but also all the code cards that you get from packs you open at home, you can use those to expand and build decks and then practice that side of it too. I imagine that we'll get to a point where we'll have a video on how to deck build. That's something I'm still learning, so we can kind of walk through that together and at least go through what a deck consists of, but that's further down the line. Digitally though, that super big thumbs up would help out a ton. What I've got here in front of you today, 3 examples of Pokemon cards, and they all have their significant role that we'll talk about, but I just want to get them in front of you so you can see. And we're going to begin to walk through them. I'm actually going to use the Salamence GX card as our main focus, but the Zacian V and Gengar EX I thought I would show as just kind of some reference points that you guys can take a peek at. So with that being said, let's move these guys off to the side, bring Salamence up here to the middle. We're just going to start with what exactly is on the card and what does it mean. So first off, the Salamence GX card, we'll just start right there at the top. We have obviously the name, Salamence, and the GX, which is the type of card it is, which we'll get to. But in the top left-hand corner, the first thing we see is this evolution stage badge in the corner. And it's showing what I believe is Shelgon for Salamence as a stage 2 evolution. What that means is when you're playing the Pokemon card game, you can't have a Pokemon like Salamence who evolves coming into battle until you've played the Pokemon it evolves from into play. So in this case, Shelgon, which I believe the first version is Bagon. Bagon would have to be played first, and then Shelgon the next turn to evolve, and then the next turn you could evolve him into Salamence. Next, like I said already, we have Salamance's name and the GX. The GX is a super powerful card from this series, and obviously, as you can tell by the whole difference of the way the card looks, it doesn't look like a standard Pokemon card. The GX cards come with a lot of benefits and and some drawbacks depending on what card you have. But the biggest drawback is all the way down at the bottom, which we'll get to later, and that has to do with if a GX card gets defeated. This is a good opportunity. We can show you some of the other cards. If we look at this Gengar EX card, he's got an EX badge. This generation introduced the EX cards, and actually I believe these EX cards are older than what this Gengar card is. This is 2014. So it's just another overpowered card. And this Zacian V is from the latest set, Sword and Shield, and they replaced the EX and the GX in the tag team with these V cards. So those are pretty cool as well. This card isn't exactly the greatest example because it doesn't have a badge up in the corner. Now, I know some of you may be saying Zacian doesn't evolve, but every Pokemon, even this Gengar who's supposed to evolve, gets a badge in the corner. This one says Basic. If it's the first evolution, it says Basic. Some Pokemon, even though they're the final evolution, get the Basic badge, which means you can play them right away, which is pretty powerful. It doesn't happen very often though. Moving from that GX badge over to the top right-hand corner, we have the hit points. In this case, Salamence has hit points of 250. Like I said, these GX cards are super overpowered, so that comes with overpowered hit points. So he's got 250 hit points. He probably can take 3 or 4 big hits before retiring, which is pretty awesome. Top right hand corner next to that, you have the badge of the energy, or what typing it is. In this case, Salamence is a dragon type. So dragon type is interesting because dragon typing doesn't have actual energy cards, so they kind of rely on other energies to kind of get across whatever moves it is that they're working with. But because he is dragon, he gets to have the type advantage that dragon holds. Obviously, this is a full art card, so you can see Salamence's body through the artwork. In some cases, like this Gengar, it is not full art, so you have a section dedicated to the attacks on the bottom. But this obviously with this Zacian card is also full art, moves on the bottom. The artwork is the primary image you see. So same with the Salamence, and this Salamence has a gold background. Very cool promotional card that came with the Dragon's Rising box, so that's pretty cool. As we move down from the artwork, we get into an ability. Now, abilities come on several cards. It's a type of move that can happen many times during the turn. Not exactly many times, depending on what it is, but can happen at many stages during your turn. Sometimes you can just you have to use it right away, or you have to use it when it comes into play. Sometimes it's some kind of energy moving ability that allows you to manipulate energy around your battlefield, which is pretty awesome, pretty powerful when you can deal with something like that. This particular one says Dragon Lift. Your Pokemon in play have no retreat cost except Pokemon GX and Pokemon EX. So also, depending on what kind of strategy you're playing, if you're playing like the bait and switch type of set strategy, you can throw Pokemon in, get an attack off, and retreat at no cost of energy because of this Dragon Lift. That's only if Salamence is in play, but when he's in play, it affects all Pokemon that are in play as well. So that's pretty cool, pretty powerful. And like it says, though, there is the exception of GX and EX. So Salamence or Zacian V or Gengar EX could not move in and out of battle simultaneously without paying their retreat costs, just based off the wording of that ability. Below that ability, we have our attack. In this case, we have one attack. Bright Flame does 200 damage, and it takes one fire, one water, and 2 colorless energy to attack. Fire and water are pretty self-explanatory. Those are badge-specific energies that you have to use. The colorless energy means you can fit any energy that you pull out of your hand and use it for those 2 colorless energies. So it kind of leaves it open-ended, so you can use, if you're using a multiple type deck, you can use some of those energies to work with that card. Bright Flame, like I said, it does 200 damage, so pretty powerful attack, and also has an ability underneath that says discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. So here's the catch with some of these powerful moves. Yes, you do 200 damage. 2 things to consider. High energy cost. 4 energy to get that 200 hit points off. And also, when you use this attack, you have to discard 2 of your energies. That means taking them 2 energies off this Pokemon and putting them into your discard pile. Meaning, you're going to have to constantly be reloading energy to get that big attack off. So it's an energy burning attack. Sometimes good, sometimes bad, depends on the situation. Energy burning attack, probably not smart when your opponent still has 6 prize cards. Or when you still have 6 prize cards to get. 6 prize cards is how you win a game. Every time you feint a Pokemon, you get a prize card. But maybe towards the last 2, maybe 3 Pokemon, you might be able to get a groove going where you can use something like that and burn energy. Especially if you have some other items that can bring energy back from the graveyard, which would be pretty awesome. And those do exist, just not as common. Moving down from our Bright Flame, we have a GX attack. Now, GX attacks are obviously related to this GX Pokemon. An overpowered attack that you can use one time. So like I said, there's a trade-off, and it comes with energy. So 3 energy, 1 fire, 2 colorless. And you can only use it one time. So you have to know when that right moment is. Otherwise, your strategy can go out the window real fast. So this one says Flame Jet GX. This attack does 120 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Don't apply weakness and resistance for bench Pokemon. You can't use more than 1 GX attack in the game, so it kind of reminds you there about that rule. So what it does is it's a one-off 120 damage, and you get to pick which Pokemon that it happens to. So it could be the active Pokemon, or it could be a bench Pokemon. And the powerful part actually about this is the do not apply weakness or resistance, which we're about to get to. But essentially, if that Pokemon can avoid damage in any way, this move nullifies that and allows you to attack it for the full 120. So pretty powerful, especially if maybe you can't beat the Pokemon that's active and you need one more prize card, but you can burn this GX off and take out one of his bench Pokemon. Perfect, you win the game. Moving down from there, we have the weakness. So just like we talked about, the weakness and resistances, they're kind of right here next to each other on the card. Dragon's weakness obviously is fairy, true to its nature, and his resistances, specifically for this Pokemon, are 0. Now, I can show you on this Gengar card. Gengar's got resistance to fighting, and he's got this -20, but the weakness times 2. What that essentially is saying, for example, with the Salamence now, any fairy cards that attack him, it does double the damage. So if a Clefairy does slap for 40, it's actually slap for 80. So that's something to take in consideration, especially when you're matching up against somebody, which Pokemon and which strategy you should use. The resistance, like I showed with the Gengar, that resistance of 20 means that whatever fighting moves happen to Gengar, they have to take 20 hit points off the damage that thing can do. So if a Hitmonlee throws a spinning kick for 60, it's only going to do 40 to Gengar. Salamence was not blessed with any resistances, so he takes whatever attacks on for what they are. Unless they're that fairy attack, then it's a ×2. Moving over from resistance, we have our retreat cost. In this case, it's 2 energy. So this is where that ability comes in. You know, he can't use it for himself because he's a GX card. But anytime I move a Pokemon out of battle, or you move a Pokemon out of battle, you have to pay the retreat cost. Sometimes it's nothing. Sometimes it's 1. Sometimes it's 3. So, like I said, this is discarding energy. In this case, it costs me 2 energy to bring Salamence from active to my bench. So something to take into consideration. Maybe I need to get him out because they switched in a powerful fairy Pokemon, and I need to hide him for a little bit until a later time. Well, I had to pay the cost for that. So you're paying a cost for this bright flame attack, and you're also paying a cost to retreat if you need to. So something to consider. At the very bottom, we kind of have the standard who illustrated the card. In this case, it shows as well the promo badge, Black Star promo. We have the promo series number. This would be where if you had a Pokemon card from a certain series, it would have that series logo, and then it would have next to it the number card out of the set. So in this case, though, this is promo 139 for Black Star promo 2018 Pokemon badge underneath of it. Last thing we have here on the bottom right-hand corner is the GX rule. Now this is what I mentioned at the beginning was very important to consider. GX Pokemon, super strong, lots of hit points, big attacks. However, here's the GX rule. When your Pokemon GX is knocked out, your opponent takes 2 prize cards. So this is worth 2 defeats if you lose. That's the trade-off for having the overpowered Pokemon, is that you may be able to sweep through and win a bunch, but also you're going to pay the price if you can't, pull off a victory. And all these cards that are overpowered come with one. Even the V card, when your Pokemon V is knocked out, your opponent takes 2 prize cards. Pokemon EX rule, when a Pokemon EX has been knocked out, your opponent takes 2 prize cards. That's kind of the name of the game for these extra strong Pokemon. You're just gonna pay extra for losing. It pays to have a better strategy, so that way you don't have to deal with that kind of loss. And then, as always, even on these promo cards, the back of the card shows the Pokemon logo and the Pokeball opening up. This has kind of been the standard artwork for the back of Pokemon cards for as long as I can remember. I believe all the way back to base set 1. I know there's those, I believe they call them blueback cards. If you've seen them, they're very old school, some of the very first Pokemon cards. And I think they're in Japanese, actually, that look different altogether. Everything looks different on them. But as far as I know, as far as the Pokemon cards have been in America since the base set, first edition, they've always looked that way in the back. And that's really it, guys. That's the anatomy of a Pokemon card. There's not a ton, to get mixed up. It all comes down to the strategy. In the weeks to come, we'll be able to talk through that. But yeah, that's really the basics of it. I hope this video was helpful, and I hope you guys really like the idea of maybe walking through the Pokemon card game a little bit. I know we've had a blast playing it. We've only played with like physical cards a few times. We play the digital game all the time. It's just easier. And I don't have a good board set up yet, which is something I'm working on to play off of. But yeah, that is it, guys. Go ahead and leave a like and a comment on things you want to see, or maybe details that I didn't cover, or things that that pique your interest as far as the Pokemon game itself. And as always, if you really like our content, go ahead and hit the bell to get notified when we post new videos. We try to post at least once or twice a week. Right now with this COVID-19 lockdown, we're still kind of not sure of how much we can post, but we're trying the best we can to post as often as possible. You can also find us on Instagram, the Gary_Dose_official. Anytime we pull a good card or we're doing something that maybe doesn't warrant a full video, we always post it there, and we post there daily. Anytime we pull a card, if we pull 6 GX cards, then over a period of days, you're going to see those cards pop up on Instagram, as well as some other things we're doing. We've been doing some Pokemon chalk art and some Pokemon window painting, some just coming up with some ideas to do while we're at home. All that can be seen there. We really interact with our fans a lot there, so please, by all means, go over and check out our Instagram as well. And lastly, if we're entrepreneurs, we're trying to make this work. If you want to support our channel, there's going to be a link in the description below for our Teespring channel. It would be super awesome if you guys could buy a shirt and then maybe send us some pictures on Instagram or something and just tag us. That'd be super cool. But if not, no big deal. Just our way of trying to turn this into something that I can pass on to my son and his next generations is just a cool entrepreneurial thing that we're doing. Most importantly, though, we love you guys. Stay super safe out there. This COVID-19 thing is pretty crazy. The lockdown rules are getting tighter and tighter, and we don't really know what that future looks like, but we just want you to know that we love you guys a ton, and we're praying for you guys. And please continue to have prayer and thoughts for us as well, as we're trying to adjust to what this new life is like right now. And yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. We'll talk to you later.